Hi, everybody. My name is Baba Adam. The company is Universal Love Jewelry, and the website is the letter U, lovejewelry.com. I wanted to give a class today on hammering and different kinds of hammers. I have about 10 different hammers that do 10 different things for me. But this hammer here is my standard hammer I do most things with. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a class on these 3 wires. This here is like this is a 8 gauge. This one here is a 12 gauge. And this one, let's go again. This is a 8 gauge. This is 12 gauge, and this is a 16 gauge. This is brass, and these 2 are copper. And what I'm going to do is to show you how to bang and how to deal with the wire. First of all, these wires all have burrs on the end. So what we're going to do is that we're going to foul off the burr. The burr is the sharp edge here, and we don't want that. We want a nice smooth edge. So when we bang it, we give a round effect more so than anything else. So we're going to foul both ends of this wire here. This is the 8 gauge. This is the thickest of the 2. So we're going to round it off. I'm going to round them all off before I bang them. Okay, that's done. So let's do the same thing to the, it's a 12 gauge. That's not really a 12 gauge. I stand to be corrected. This is a 14 gauge brass wire, and they're all soft. Wires come in hard, half hard, and soft. It's always good to use soft wire, and that's what the 3 of these wires are. Okay, so we fouled all 3, and once they're fouled, then they're ready for the bang. Okay, finish. See, now all of the edges now are nice and smooth. I don't know if you can see that. Nice and round like, okay? So, I'm gonna sit these down here for a minute. Then I'm gonna tell you a little story about these hammers. All of these hammers, these 3 hammers here, and most of the hammers that I have, I buy from the flea market. Because jewelers' hammers are generally very expensive. In my humble opinion, unnecessarily expensive. So, this hammer, of course, is for little light, thin things. And this here is for something that's a little heavier. And this here is for all types. It could be light. I could bang a light 16 gauge. I could bang the 14 gauge. I could bang the 8 gauge, all of them with this hammer. So I'm going to show you what this hammer here consists of. This is an old standard hammer that you buy in the flea market. The most that I usually pay for a hammer is like $5. Now, if you look at the front of this hammer here, it's all beat up, got cut edges, cuts on it, and the ball peen is messed up too. So it's not good to bang on a hammer like this here, because when you bang something flat, all these little dents are going to come out on the wire. And you don't want that. You want a nice, smooth finish. So I'm going to give a class also one of these days on this. Now see how smooth that is? Nice and smooth. And the back is the exact same way. And this hammer was like this at one time. So what I did was I filed it real nicely and then I polished it. I don't know anybody else who's doing that with hammers except me. So everybody's getting it hot off the press, so to speak. And now you see there's going to be no scratches. It's going to be a nice, smooth finish. Okay, so let's start banging something simple like the thinnest of these 3 wires, which would be the 16 gauge, right? And we want to bang the 16 gauge. Now, when you bang the wire, you're holding the wire stationary, right? And then what you're doing is that this here is like an aim. I'm aiming it, right? And then after I aim, I bang. Aim, I missed. Bang, bang, bang. You see that? This is a nice smooth finish, right? And this here, you could take this and you could bend it up. Let me get a pair of pliers. Okay, I got a pair of pliers. You could do a lot of things with this. You could I'll just do something real simple with it. I'll take a pair of snips, right? That's got that little bang on it there, and I'll cut it right here. And then I'll get out my pliers, my round nose pliers, right? Again, this is a very important tool, a file. It's real simple. I see a lot of people on YouTube doing a lot of things and not use this, right? Real quick, you could take this here piece here and you go 1, 2, come back in 3. Now, with this bang on it, see this bang here? I'll put it here. I don't know if you can see that good. That bang there, this could be an earring. You could make 10 of these and hang it off of an earring. You could also take it down here and give it another bang. You close it up. And see there's another bang on it. And you could do different things with that. Okay, and that could be on an earring. You could make rings with the bang on the front. There's a bunch of things you could do. Now, this is brass. Brass, this is actually half hard brass. It's not really half hard. It's really soft, but brass is a harder metal, so it's harder to bang. So let's do the same thing with the brass. Now, when you hold a hammer, down here. See, up here, if you're holding a hammer here, that's choking the hammer. There's certain kinds of bangs you could use to hold it here, but generally, you want to hold it here so you get balance. The balance is when you grab the grip back here. See, that's the grip. So I'm going to bang the end on this one here. Aim right. 1, 2. You notice how this is harder to bang because it's a harder wire. See that? It's the same bang, and it took more. The wire's a little thicker. This is like I feel like a 12 gauge, but it's a little thicker, but it's still harder than the soft brass. Okay. Now, on the same principle, I could do that same thing with a smaller hammer. And then a smaller hammer, of course, is going to take more bangs. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. See? It took a lot more bangs as opposed to a heavy hammer. Let's cut this off. Wow. A heavy hammer, what did I say? I think I said 12 or 14 bangs. A heavy hammer like this one does the same thing much faster. Now let's count these bangs here. Now this one here, 1, 2, 3. See, I got it there on 3 bangs. I did the exact same thing. So that's the reason why you would use a heavier hammer for this type of banging. Okay, now if you're talking about a thicker bracelet, a thicker wire, generally used for bracelets. Now this wire is about 7 inches long, and the average bracelet for a woman is about 7 inches. So you're gonna do the exact same principle right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See, that's 8 hard bangs. Okay, let's smooth it out. See, now you got the same bang there and 8 bangs. If I use a smaller hammer for something like this, it'll be maybe double that amount of bangs. And you noticed how smooth it looks? That's because of the smoothness of the hammer. It's going to give a nice smooth bang. So what you want to do, you want to bang give the same bang. You turn it over. Make sure this piece here is flat like this. When it's flat like that, now both pieces are going to be the same flatness. So I come here, make sure that it's even, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those little bangs that I'm giving there, just to knock out the see the little hammer marks. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little hammer marks there, so I'm just hitting it to knock out the little hammer marks. So it's very smooth. That's it. This is a bracelet. Simple bracelet, standard, and you get a pole and round it off, and you have a bracelet. So remember to hold a hammer like this to keep the balance. And this is my favorite hammer. I call this hammer the Hawk. I've had this for, I don't know, more than 20 years. More than 20 years, and it stayed with me. And remember, go to the flea market or someplace like that and get those hammers that's always in the flea market. Look at it, and these hammers are hardened steel, and especially the old ones, they're really good. So that's my simple story on hammering. And thank you so much for looking and listening. And remember, the website is the letter U, lovejewelry.com. Thanks.